Hey guys, and welcome to episode 4. In today's episode, we're going to make a pumpkin farm and a villager breeder. So, the pumpkin farm is just going to be literally a mimic of the melon farm, just right here instead. And it will just have the pipeline come down into this point. And yeah, and then the villager breeder won't be here because otherwise we'll just have way too many villagers. Because I'll just have it over there at my base. And yeah. So right, let's get the floor plan laid out and get into it. Catch you in a bit. Got the first layer complete, and I've used some of the bones from the mob grinder to make some bone meal and grow them up. So these guys are ready to produce some pumpkins. So now I'm going to use these pumpkins to make more pumpkin seeds, and then I can make some more layers. So I'm just going to make it as tall as this, no higher. Anyway. Catch you when it's done. Hello there. Okay, so the pumpkin farm is complete. So I built it up to the same height as the melon farm. It is literally a carbon copy. Oh, whoops. If I just come fly over to the melon farm, you'll see what I mean. Literally a carbon copy. Nothing different. The only thing that's different is this produces melons, that produces pumpkins. So the way that they work, I don't know if I explained it, there is an issue with these. It can be solved. It's that the melons and pumpkins can sometimes get stuck here. This can be solved by getting more glass panes, but usually you don't have an issue with this. It's usually not a problem. And anyway, the build-up eventually breaks down when the stuff despawns after 5 minutes. And they're efficient enough, and they do enough, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, back to how they work. So, basically, you can probably tell by looking, we have water under there that saturates this ground. A observer points at that, and whenever a pumpkin or a melon grows, the seed, I suppose, the plant, bends over towards the pumpkin or melon block. That causes an update. This block will get powered, this redstone gets powered, which in turn powers this piston, which punches the whatever it is, melon or pumpkin, pushes it down into the collection system, shunted over here, up, and then into this collection system, which is much nicer because I don't have to deal with sorting systems. I like sorting systems, but they can just be annoying. This just because it's just one item going in. Anyway, so it just comes up, gets collected here, and eventually, in the case that we do end up not having enough space, then it just simply goes over the top of all of that, final fail-safing that one to make sure that it does get collected, and then it just goes dumped in the lava. It's the same system I have going on the iron farm, which actually changed since last episode. I put a sorting system into play, and I changed the sorting system, because before I didn't have a runoff. I doubt I'll ever need a runoff for this. I might for the roses, that's all I was thinking, because I won't ever really use the roses, so I thought probably worth getting one of them. So I did. So there you go. Sorting system for that. So yeah, it collects that. And the mob grinder's still going strong since how many? Last episode yet? Still going strong. Somehow that zombie saw me. I do think the shadows look really cool. Anyway, so those are my main villagers, so I'm gonna have to spend ages getting more villagers from the village that's like really far that way. For what I want to do next, I want to build a villager breeder. So I need to go get some more villagers and bring them over to my base. I want to keep it at my base because I don't want to keep it here, because I find that villager breeders are really good at what they're supposed to do, and they just puke out villagers constantly, like too many. I've had to kill villagers before because of how many there are. Anyway, that's besides the point. So I'm going to have it over my base where it's actually in render less than here. So then it also doesn't affect the mob cap, because the only problem with this is that it's entities, which affects the mob cap. But again, efficient enough that it doesn't matter. So anyway, so now I need to get 2 villagers, some plants, blocks, maybe some glass, and some water. Anyway, I think I'm just going to go ahead and build it. Maybe I'll build it on that beach over there. Don't know. Anyway, I think I'm just going to go ahead and build it. So yeah, catch you in a bit when I've got... It's going to take so long to get these villagers. So it's done. The villager breeder is complete. Yeah, so the villagers live in here. Water saturates the plants. They farm any of the plants which allows them to breed. And then the babies effectively go to try and sleep. And these guys do too. But they can't because they're blocked by this. See, the babies can pathfind through that gap here. And because they see them as hole blocks to these beds. So they try. These guys do too, but what time is it? Looks like we might get a display of how these guys can't. So they try, they can't reach, so they get stuck in there permanently. Oh, here you go. This shows them trying to get there. They can't pathfind anyway. So when a baby is born, they fall, go down, cross, and come here. And that is a wall. So if I drop down, the wall sits just a little bit higher. So they go up just a little bit, and puts their head in it. But it doesn't. If they're a baby, they're down there, and then once they grow up, a head gets in there, and then they float up. Anyway, so yeah. So that's how the village breeder works, and it just basically rinse and repeat on and on and on and on until finally we have a bunch here. And that's why I didn't want the thing over there. So yeah. Anyway, so that'll do for this episode. I don't know what I'm going to do next episode. Maybe a gold farm. I'm not sure. Just have to depend on what I feel like. So yeah. Yeah. That's the end of this episode. So I will catch you in the next one. Goodbye.